All right, welcome back, my fellow agents. It is I, X7, your agent of awesome action and black and white science fiction movies. Today, we are going to be reviewing the 1959 movie. Well, it was released in Japan in two parts. It's two movies. We'll get into that. The Prince of Space, or Prince of Space, as it's just titled. As we'll see, this is brought over about the same time that the Starman movies were, Supergiant, and one other one by the same people. But before we get too much further into that, please like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about these movies. I mean, this one is something. Uh, and let me know if you've seen any of them, including the Starman or even the Space Chief one. But if you could watch just a little longer than usual, please do. And are you ready? Let's take off, or blast off, or lift off, and let's roll. Okay, so this print came from the Dark Sky double DVD set. Well, two movies on one DVD, the double movies DVD of both Prince of Space and Invasion of the Neptune Men. We will get to Invasion of the Neptune Men, which is a little more fun because it's a little shorter. This one could have been edited a little shorter, but so it does have some fun stuff on it, like these interstitials here about drive-ins and things like that. And Dark Sky did some really good stuff. I have a couple of their discs. Uh, I don't remember how many I had, or I don't know if they're still around. The That recession in 2008 really kind of killed all of a lot of the boutique and smaller DVD release. The people that release DVDs, smaller. Well, you know what I mean. So we start there with seeing Walter Manley. He is the same person that brought over all four of the Starmen movies, which he combined. Much like this one, were combined. A lot of them were combined from two parters. This movie was originally released. He also brought over the Green Slime in some way. Was released May 19th, 1959 was the first one. It was released a week later. Part one ran 57 minutes. Part two ran 64 minutes. This was a let's see a show called Planet Prince, UCOG. So very similar to Prince Planet, which is but not because two different things. One's a cartoon. Ran 49 episodes, comprising of four separate adventures. It was created to capitalize on Shin Toho's Super Giant movies. What a surprise! So there you go. I've not seen any of the show. I don't think, but these two movies, Planet Prince and Planet Prince: The Terrifying Spaceship. So you can tell when they're stuck together about halfway through. It was released over here in '65, of course. Same year that all the Supergiant ones, and I want to say and it was combined, and it runs at about 85 minutes, I believe. Yeah, 1965, syndicated for black and white televisions. Never saw it in here in Fossil Bed. So let's get on with this. There it is, English edition by Bellucci Productions, who did change all of the names from Japanese to English ones. Uh, Prince of Space is Wally. His kids are Susie and Johnny and Mickey and Kimmy. And they just changed all of their names. They Anglicanized every one of them. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. They didn't do, I don't know if they did that for Starman. I'll check into that. We might have to revisit those. So here you go. Nice shot. The kids, Wally's got two kids, Susie and I want to say, at least in this first one, Susie and Johnny, Mickey and Johnny, I don't know. But they're eating over at a friend's house because they're in there. That's Kimmy there. That's Kimmy. Yes, it's not Susie. They're all watching space, and then there's Wally. who's played by Tatsuo Umemiya, and he did a lot of gangster stuff. But he's very young here, and he's a boot black. He's humble and lovable, a shoeshine boy, if you know what I mean. And they see this, they first think this is a toy, and it is, but stand by for an important message. There's our villain, Ambassador Phantom, or Phantom Dictator, Ambassador Dictator Phantom, whatever you want to call him, of the Crankor. He's going to he wants something, which is the doctor's Dr. Makin, or Dr. Maki, as he's known in Japan. He's developed a new fuel, so that they don't have. And he laughs. The Phantom, the ambassador, laughs a lot. Ha ha ha! To prove he's evil. So there's the press group. So it must be serious. They tell, look, there they are. They're on red alert because there is the Phantom, and this is a giant ship. It's very comfortable for the Phantom and his men and his minions. While he's watching, descending in area 220, and it's underground, but it's got a Zappo ray, and it destroys, and it Zappos people. It's set to obliterate, and his first warning, some kind. So the dubbing here is pretty good. I want to say that Titan did this because the voices are all familiar. Obviously they didn't write the script because they wouldn't have changed the names. They were just called him Waku and Sachiko and Ichiro and Makoto and Kimiko. I don't understand it. So they wasn't it wasn't common back then in the 50s and 60s, but it did happen. So Sandy Frank did not invent, but interestingly, there's no Kennys in here. Go figure. Go figure. There, and suddenly this one-man spaceship shows up. It's a pretty nifty looking, very basic. Obviously, it's a one-person ship. There's no way you could fit more than one in it. I don't know which kids these are, but they're around. And there he is, making his first appearance, the Prince of Space. Now, in the show, he didn't wear a mask, but he was identified with a question mark in the credits. Phantom of Crankor, your weapons cannot harm me. And he tells them that over and over in the 85 minutes. He must say it about 8 times. But the effects are pretty decent. It's fun seeing models. At this day and age, homemade models are always cool to see. There he is flying his little ship, which goes into outer space. The acoustic vapors, which don't work, but he goes back to Earth. So there they are, boot blacking him and his kids. Why are these kids in school? That might be a man like Wally. Sure. It's never explained where he's from in the movie, not where he's from or how he got his powers or anything. If he's an alien, we're assuming he's an alien, maybe? Strange visitor from another planet. So, below decks. And they're going to get out. He's evil. Evil, as in fruits of the devil. There he is and his men. I like how his men they're numbered, Z1 and Z2. Ha ha ha. Now this makes it look like the prince is saying this, but it's the Phantom of Crankor who's like, I'm going to kill you now. So, and there's another fight. They've got laser cannons, but not on their heads. They are kind of evil tempered, but So they won't harm anyone. And he's like, your weapons can't hurt me. But the Phantom, they do have a bit of a battle, but these kids, they're just there to be fodder, kidnap fodder. He gives them a little gadget, much like Starman did in I want to say Atomic Rulers. I'm really going to have to go over that again because I think I could do a better job now. It has been 3 years. And there's a gun. They want to do it. There's this test to test his rocket fuel. But the little troublemakers. So the Phantom's pretty darn funny. I like the trailer that Sci-Fi Channel did, and that was way back when, because that's where I recorded this movie originally, off of the Sci-Fi Channel, and that might have come from my copy of it, for all I know, the one you saw yesterday. But Mars. His name is Mars. He's the only one that's there, but his weapons cannot hurt him. And they're firing, but they do sabotage the rocket and it goes kaboom! And the prince drops off a letter. And see, they leave it in Japanese. They didn't even say it's in another language, in code or anything. So I don't even know why they changed the names. But I mean, kids are smart. We knew Hayata and Fuji and Oshino, and all the Japanese monster movies we were watching. But go figure. Like I said, I never saw this one. Stock footage shows up, and they're blasting away. I couldn't help. So yeah, I'll throw in a Flash Gordon reference anytime I can. They leave. So now we've got a new Dr. Mackin, but that's his kid. So this is the second part of the movie. And I'm sure that the Prince of Space was probably thinking this about them.
These uniforms suck.
Bart, where do you pick up words like that?
Yeah, Mo, that team sure did suck last night. They just plain sucked. I've seen teams suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked.
Homer, watch your mouth.
I gotta go. My damn wiener kids are listening.
Homer's not wrong. The Krangorians are the suckingest bunch of sucks that ever sucked. So anyway, the reason they're alarmed, these Earthlings, is because Dr. Mackin has been captured. Dr. Maki. I just like the shot of the Earth there. And again, it's a nifty looking spaceship, I gotta say, and it's incredibly spacious. But they're being chased again, so I don't even know how far away Crankor must be. Fastest, and they use all sorts of English terms. I mean, must be the universal translator, so we can understand it. Apparently, the ship is immune to their weapons as well. They go through the obligatory asteroid field. Now they're back on Earth, so they're going to use the X radar to find out who the Prince of Space is in real life. Look at these sets. I mean, that's a very cool looking set. It's minimalist, but look at this, the scope of this ship. It's gigantic. It's huge. So it's got its own weather system. It's so huge. But there they are. They've kidnapped 5 scientists, and yeah, there's his house. 500,000 Earth. They're not even to the moon yet. Maybe they're a little past. No, they're not to the moon yet. But they're all like, none of us will work with you. So they've got something foaming here, and they're going to eat. Who knows what the Krangorians eat? But they're like, nope. And this is a really funny line because the Phantom says, I can't believe that the Earth doesn't let you smart people guide it. And holy crap, permitted to guide the destinies of their people. And in this day and age, he ain't wrong. I mean, so they're back on Earth trying to find out if Wally is, because Wally is. And it's interesting. Uh, I want to say Underdog's voice was Wally. I want to say Wally Carbo, but I'm not 100% sure. Voice of Underdog. Let's see. Wally Cox. Wally Carbo was from the WWF way back in the day, I believe. But so yeah, sleeping on the job. That's really funny. So they've triangulated him, and it's fixed on the humble and lovable Shoeshine Boy. Just thank you, sir. But he doesn't explode every phone booth he runs into, causing lots of damage. He came back. So there they are. Look at this makes it look like it's about the size of a large automobile, but it must be hundreds of thousands of feet in the air, and that's how big it is. They're all watching him. It's either spying on Wally and his minion and his kids. They're not. I don't know if they're his adoptees or what, but I guess it doesn't matter now. It really doesn't. Chief Prince is walking away, and they got a bird, and the kid finds a note, and it's from the Prince of Space. Tell him to go behave and not, get out so they won't be in trouble. And they shoot at him, and he shows up again. And once again, your weapons are useless. And they have a brief tussle here. So I think that they could have had a nice. One of the things missing out of here is a little action because there is a lot of talk. Maybe too much talk. A better editor would have condensed it down, to about 75 or 80 minutes, taken out 5 more minutes, it'd have flowed better. And if they'd have had a fist fight between the Phantom and the Phantom of Krangor and the Prince of Space, it would have been more fun. But because they just chase each other through here, this could have been done away with. Prepare the caustic vapor again. More meteorites again. So here's the planet Krangor, and there's a giant there. I forget if he's actually called the giant. Off the top, Wiki doesn't even give you the synopsis. Good job, guys. But yeah, I really like this inside of the ship. Maybe they just shrink. It's much bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. No man has ever seen. What the devil is that? There he is, the monster. So the monster of Krangor, who looks just like a giant Krangorian, but he's called the Guardian, but he doesn't. He zaps him a few times with his rays and kills him. The monster can breathe fire and caustic vapors, but the prince just kills him with his rays because apparently every available battery. So it was hard to get the shots in there. And he's wiping him out with his, and he just tells him to surrender. So he's just mowing him down. So apparently there are no women on Krangor, and they're not because they're not even particularly concerned with the Earth women. I'm going to broil him alive. He's well cooked. Your guns nor your heat will work on him. And there's an animated shot. So they are animated, and it looks cool. It's just that the tempo is, because it is two movies put together to make one, the space travel is just too much. But they keep fighting. Come on. And he's getting them out there. So that's his special, his wand, the gun, or whatever you call it, that he can use. His universal Framistat. Oh, wait, that's Ronan's. He surrenders, but then he doesn't. And everything falls and collapses. The planet blows up. And the prince leads the scientists back to Earth. Look at on the visual screen, the man we have to thank, the Prince of Space. So really, that's about it. That's all we see. We never saw him again, even though he just stayed on Earth. We'll never know where he's from. I think that had I seen this as a kid, I would have liked it a lot more. It's just too long, really. And that's me saying that. So let's stop here and get another little product placement in.
A smog-breathing mastodon of destruction challenges Godzilla. Godzilla versus the smog monster. Can Godzilla conquer this man-killer? Godzilla versus the smog monster. Rated G.
All right, so that will be Sunday's movie. Sven is airing King Kong versus Godzilla, and I've already reviewed that. So we're going to go with 1971's Godzilla versus the Smog Monster, which is one of my favorites. And tomorrow we'll be doing some more dinosaur books. If you remember from last week, dinosaurs in the movies and television shows, if you will. So look forward to that, I hope. And until our next assignment, this is X7 signing off and phasing out.
Out of the polluted waters it came, growing ever more deadly on smog. Only one force dared stand up to its overpowering evil. Godzilla. Godzilla versus the smog monster. Can Godzilla conquer this man-killer? Godzilla versus the smog monster. Rated G.